maybe for our panel, just to start with just a short introduction of who you are and where you're from and which regional network do you represent. And then, then we'll start the conversation. Thank you.
Okay, I will start. My name is Lyubov Vorontsova. I am from Kazakhstan, and I represent Eurasian Women's Networks on AIDS, and represent women who live with HIV and ICA region. Yes, that's all.
Well, hi everyone, my name is Karen Dunaway. I am the Global Programs Officer at ICW, that is International Community of Women Living with HIV. And I also co-lead the Stigma Index Technical Assistance Program along with Helena from GNP, that's just right there. And I'm also the UNAIDS LAC representative delegate from Latin America at the PCP.
Hello, Masa al Khair. Good evening, everybody. Tariq Alawi, Director of Program of MENA Community Network, the network of people living with HIV in Middle East and North Africa. Also co-founder of Kainin Plus, the National Moroccan NGO of people living with HIV. Happy to be with you.
My name is Ganwe Israel from Côte d'Ivoire. I work for NAPLUS West Africa. NAPLUS is network of African people living with HIV West Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to start with you. So maybe just tell us in terms of like, as we know, I mean, we've been, the HIV response has been over like 30 years, and we can't take away the importance of regional networks. And I just want to know, as we move ahead, what do you think has been like the greatest contributor of regional networks? And maybe then also just reflect on, you know, what have been the greatest achievements that we can build upon, and then yeah, we can start with that. Sorry, and maybe just also, as you highlight what are some of the greatest impact, also then just also highlight some existing challenges, you know, that you found along the way, and that you think will be a barrier moving us forward.
Okay, I will start about changes and what happened in our region. You know, now we're based on our experience and our region happening not very good things. Our challenges before funding cuts, now it's war, humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, and shrinking civil space, and increases pressure on activists, and escalating criminalization for gay groups. It's our reality a few last years. And now we have a funding crisis too. And in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, countries are trying to shift from donor funding, like a global fund, to national budget. But support from community services is often weak. It depends for country, but yes. Some services are being moved into public health systems, but they lose quality. And NGOs are under pressure. Some are changing their structure and going low profile. Others are testing digital outreach, you know, and online, but it can't fully replace face-to-face support. What is about impact? I think it's about a situation. I want to say about opportunities, what we have now. Impact, I think we talk about all day about impact, but what about opportunities for us in this situation? It can be, NGOs offer valuable expertise. We have a lot of expertise. I work in different situations, with different opportunities, especially in harm reduction and working with gay groups. Some countries still allow NGO participation in coordination, councils, and mechanism. And this is opportunities for advocacy for us. And in countries with Global Fund grants, we have a CCM. Still have these opportunities. And ministers and government need to help improving health system and data tools. And we can do this. Yes, I think, yes. That's all. And
Thank you. And when I mean impact, I think we often think impact from a very donor perspective. Impact is actually what we define as achievement. And because it's not really, I think donors have their own ways of looking at impact, but really what I mean with this question, what are some of the achievements that regional networks have contributed, and what has really been the impact, particularly in the countries that you work with, and particularly maybe also reflect your partnerships with the national networks?
Well, first, thank you to GNP, BIV, and the World Council of Churches for the opportunity to meet all of us here. And I know that when I introduced myself, I didn't say where I was from, so apologies. I am from Honduras. It's a country in Central America. For more reference, it's near Guatemala and Mexico. Because I know we're very tiny, so a lot of people don't know where Honduras is. And I'm going to be very brief, because I know a lot of people might be hungry now. But one of the biggest impacts and achievements that we have seen from the community, it's accountability. We know and we have been trained on holding the governments accountable and increase our leadership in those decision-making spaces. We know where we need to be seated at, and we demand to be seated at there. And one of the strongest things that we have as a community is CLM. We need to monitor what is happening right now, and we need to be transparent on what is happening. Part of the CLM is for government not to manipulate data, but to show the reality of what is happening and how it's impacted and affected communities, and how can organizations know and work to change and shift that reality. Because we have, I think in a call just today, they did a check-in on all of us, and one of us said that they are exhausting to showing how networks have to do the work and prove that they need funding, because they do the work of shifting the realities. So one of the most impacting is it's accountability and leadership. One of the things I said in the PCP last year is back in the 90s, the HIV didn't win because of communities, and we are now back, sadly, in that reality, and we are stuck in the 80s, and now we need to go and fight back as our leaders from the past did.
Thank you. Tariq?
Sorry.
Yes. Same question? Yes. So, as a regional network, I think that at MENA community, we are realizing our goals, the one that the group of people living with HIV from the region used it to come together 2 decades ago, and they were thinking on a space where they can speak about their concerns as people living with HIV with all their diversity, from Lebanon, from Morocco, from Tunisia, from Egypt, from Sudan, from Djibouti, from Yemen, from Syria, from Libya, from all these countries. So the concern was how we can empower the people living with HIV, because the empowerment of people in HIV bring us to a big impact at national level and international level. The impact that we had on this point was very important, because we came at time, as I said, MENA community was a group of people dreaming on a network of people in HIV. The idea concretized in 2021, when officially the network is not registered but hosted, but has its first support, its first financial support by GNP+. And we can say that was really the big push that we had. one of our second impact that we are believing in is to provide information tools for all people living with HIV in the region who have not access to close NGO or services. And in this one, I think we are doing quite well because we are providing a package of information and tools. And once building these tools, the method was easy. We ask ourselves, as people living with HIV, what are the questions that you start to ask yourself? You can be in Sana'a, you can be in the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, but we have all the same concerns, starting from the treatments, starting for the reproductive health, starting for HIV and work, HIV and children, so all these questions. So we are in the good position to provide like a global, regional, respecting the diversity of languages and also of the culture. Here we are facing a big barrier, which is the culture, and HIV in the region is related to a big taboo because it's related to sexual relationships. The third impact that I think it's also our strong position in the region, because for years the advocacy for the whole packaging that concern people living with HIV, starting for the access to treatment, starting for the healthcare, and fighting against the stigma and discrimination. And for this, we are managing well because we are reaching and connecting with all with the many advocacy mechanisms around the globe, especially the one working on treatments like the MENA-CAB, ATP-MENA, and all this different institutions. For the stigma and discrimination and the criminalization of the HIV, we are part of the HIV and justice worldwide. And we do believe in advocacy. Why? Our role as a network, as you know, national NGOs, they are facing political and oppression. So we are considered as their voice. That means we are here to collect concerns, to collect problems, to collect needs.